Since the dawn of humanity, stories of extraordinary heroes have captivated cultures worldwide. These figures transcend the ordinary, blending divine and mortal strength in epic journeys. But what if these legends were more than mere imagination? What if they hid profound connections between mythologies, sacred texts, and historical events? Imagine a world where Hercules, the Greek demigod, and the biblical Nephilim share a surprising origin. Hercules, son of Zeus and the mortal Alcmene, is one of Greece's most iconic heroes. His feats, like the 12 Labors, symbolize resilience and redemption. Yet few ask, why did a demigod face such brutal challenges? His story reflects not only the struggle between divine and human, but also echoes ancient narratives of hybrid beings across distant cultures. Coincidence, or is there an invisible thread linking these traditions? In the Bible, the Nephilim are mentioned in Genesis 6:1-4 as giants or men of renown, born from the union of sons of God and daughters of men. These beings defied divine order, their existence halted by the Great Flood. But what were they truly? Literal giants, fallen angels, or metaphors for ancient civilizations? These questions have intrigued theologians and historians for millennia, their answers potentially reshaping our understanding of the past. Comparing Hercules and the Nephilim reveals fascinating parallels. Both divine hybrids, both confronting superhuman challenges, both leaving legacies that span eras. While Hercules seeks redemption through his labors, the Nephilim embody a threat to creation's purity. These similarities suggest hero and giant myths might stem from shared events or beliefs among ancient civilizations, even if reinterpreted locally. If this theory sparks your curiosity, subscribe now. Here, we uncover hidden connections between religion, myth, and history, revealing how the past shapes our present. Click subscribe and enable notifications to never miss a revelation. After all, what else do our traditions hide? The Nephilim mentioned in Genesis 6:1-4 are among Scripture's most cryptic enigmas. Described as offspring of sons of God and human women, they are called mighty men of old, men of renown. But who were these beings? Ancient Jewish texts, like the Book of Enoch, Enoch 6:7, elaborate. They were giants born from 200 angelic watchers who descended to earth, teaching forbidden knowledge and corrupting humanity. Their hybrid nature, part divine, part mortal, mirrors myths from Mesopotamia to Greece, suggesting a shared cultural anxiety about divine interference. Scholars debate their identity. Literalists argue they were physical giants, citing Numbers 13:33, where Israelite spies describe Nephilim as towering over ordinary men. Symbolic interpretations suggest they represent pre-flood human tyranny, with sons of God as corrupt rulers intermarrying with commoners. Others link them to Mesopotamian myths, like the Anunnaki, celestial beings who governed Earth. The ambiguity fuels theories. Were they fallen angels, divine offspring, or metaphors for societal collapse? Each perspective reshapes our view of ancient spirituality. The Nephilim's legacy transcends the Bible. In Norse lore, frost giants like Ymir embody primordial chaos, while Greek titans like Kronos rebel against cosmic order. Mesopotamian epics describe demigods like Gilgamesh, part divine and part mortal, battling monsters. Even Hindu mythology features the deity as giant beings of immense power. These parallels suggest a universal theme: hybrid beings as symbols of humanity's struggle against forces beyond its control, whether moral, natural, or divine. Genesis frames the Nephilim as catalysts for the flood, their corruption justifying divine judgment. But why erase an entire generation? Some theologians argue their existence blurred the Creator's intended order, threatening human free will. Others posit they symbolize the dangers of unchecked ambition, a theme echoed in the Tower of Babel. Intriguingly, post-flood legends, like the Rephaim, Deuteronomy 3:11, hint at surviving Nephilim, suggesting the threat lingered. Could their story explain ancient fears of divine-human hybrids? As we unravel these threads, a question arises. Could Hercules' mythos be a Greek reinterpretation of Nephilim-like figures? Both embody divine power, clashing with mortal flaws. If so, how did these narratives evolve across cultures? Share your thoughts in the comments. Stay tuned as we dive deeper into Hercules' world and uncover what binds these ancient enigmas. Hercules, known in Greek mythology as Heracles, is the embodiment of the conflict between divine and mortal. Son of Zeus and Alcmena, his existence was marked by a curse. Hera, Zeus's wife, drove him to madness, leading to the murder of his family. To atone, he faced the 12 Labors, challenges testing not only his physical strength, but his moral resilience. These trials transformed him into a symbol of redemption, raising questions. Why would a demigod need forgiveness? Is his story a metaphor for humanity's struggle against fate? Each of Hercules' 12 labors reflects an aspect of the human condition. Killing the Nemean lion, invincible to mortal weapons, symbolizes overcoming the impossible. Cleaning the Augean stables in a day represents purging chaos. Capturing the Ceryneian hind, sacred to Artemis, illustrates navigating dilemmas between respect and necessity. These tasks aren't just tests of strength, they're lessons in humility, intelligence, and perseverance, traits transcending classical heroism. Hercules isn't unique in his hybrid nature. Cultures celebrated similar figures. Gilgamesh in Mesopotamia, Rama in India, and even Samson in Israel. All share divine ancestry, epic trials, and a connection to the sacred. This suggests ancient civilizations saw heroes as bridges between worlds. Humans capable of reaching the divine, yet bound by mortal flaws. Hercules stands out for his vulnerability. He's not just a warrior, but a man tormented by his choices. Hercules' relationship with the divine is complex. While Zeus protects him, Hera despises him, making him a victim of cosmic forces beyond his control. This duality mirrors the Nephilim, beings of celestial origin punished for transgressing divine laws. Both Hercules and the Nephilim are marked by inherent tragedy, as if their existence challenged established order. Is this coincidence or proof of a shared narrative root? Hercules' story doesn't end with his labors, but with his ascension to Olympus after death. Poisoned by a tunic soaked in centaur blood, he chose immolation to escape suffering. Zeus then elevated him to godhood, a conclusion echoing the Nephilim's destruction in the flood, followed by a new covenant with humanity. These parallels between death and renewal, punishment and transcendence, lead us to ask, what's the true purpose of these stories? Comment below with your theories. The Nephilim and figures like Hercules share striking similarities that transcend geography and culture. Both are hybrids, born of divine and mortal realms, and both embody extraordinary power paired with tragic flaws. The Nephilim, depicted as giants or tyrants, disrupted cosmic order, while Hercules, though heroic, faced divine punishment and moral struggles. This duality raises a question. Were these stories invented to explain humanity's relationship with the divine? Or do they hint at a shared ancestral memory of beings who blurred the lines between God and man? Mythologist Joseph Campbell noted that hero myths often follow a universal pattern. A hero ventures beyond the ordinary, faces trials, and returns transformed. Hercules' labors and the Nephilim's pre-flood dominance both fit this framework, yet their outcomes differ starkly. Hercules attains godhood through suffering, while the Nephilim are erased by divine judgment. This contrast mirrors cultural values. The Greeks celebrated individual redemption, while Hebrew tradition emphasized obedience to divine law. Are these narratives two sides of the same coin? The concept of divine rebellion unites these figures. The Nephilim's watchers, fallen angels in Enochian texts, defied heavenly hierarchy by mingling with humans, while Hercules' defiance of Hera's wrath symbolizes resistance to arbitrary divine authority. Even in Hindu mythology, demigods, like Arjuna, face moral dilemmas that challenge cosmic order. These parallels suggest ancient cultures grappled with similar questions. What happens when the divine intervenes in humanity? And who truly holds power, the gods or those who dare to challenge them? Archaeological evidence adds intrigue. Ancient Mesopotamian tablets, like the Epic of Gilgamesh, describe kings with godly ancestry, battling monsters and seeking immortality. Similarly, Greek vases depict Hercules wrestling the Nemean lion, while Assyrian reliefs show heroes combating serpents. Could these artifacts indicate cultural exchanges along trade routes, where stories of hybrid beings spread and evolved? Or do they reflect a collective human need to explain the unknown through tales of divine human hybrids? These connections challenge modern assumptions about mythology. If Hercules' mythos was influenced by Nephilim-like traditions, it reshapes our understanding of how ancient civilizations interacted. It also invites us to reflect. Are myths merely stories, or do they preserve fragments of a forgotten past? Share your perspective in the comments. Next, we'll explore how scholars today reinterpret these ancient links in light of new discoveries. Modern scholars have reignited the debate over the Nephilim-Hercules connection. Using interdisciplinary approaches, archaeology, comparative mythology, and textual analysis, they propose that these stories might reflect real historical events. For instance, the discovery of ancient giant bones in Greece, like those of the 5th century BCE Hercules of Erymanthus, and Mesopotamian texts referencing oversized beings suggest that myths could have been inspired by encounters with prehistoric megafauna or unusually tall human populations. Could these findings bridge the gap between legend and reality? The field of euhemerism, the theory that myths are distorted accounts of historical figures, offers another lens. What if the Nephilim and Hercules were based on ancient rulers, or warriors whose exploits were exaggerated over time? For example, the Hittite kings of the Bronze Age were described as godlike in stature and power, much like the Nephilim. Similarly, Hercules' labors might mirror the deeds of a real leader who unified tribes or conquered natural threats. This perspective transforms myth into a cultural memory of human achievement. Pop culture amplifies these theories. Films like Noah, 2014, depict the Nephilim as rock giants, while Hercules, 2014, portrays him as a mortal man mythologized by storytellers. These adaptations reflect modern fascination with reinterpreting ancient tales through science and skepticism. Even video games like God of War blend Greek and biblical motifs, inviting players to question the line between myth and reality. Are these stories being diluted or deepened by contemporary retellings? Psychological interpretations add another layer. Carl Jung's concept of the shadow self, the darker, unconscious aspects of humanity, resonates with both Hercules' madness and the Nephilim's corruption. Myths, in this view, are mirrors for human struggles. The tension between ambition and morality, power and responsibility. This aligns with why these stories endure. They tap into universal fears and aspirations, transcending time and culture. These theories challenge us to rethink ancient narratives. If the Nephilim and Hercules share a common root, it could rewrite the history of early civilizations' interactions. But how do we separate fact from metaphor? Share your thoughts below. In the next section, we'll explore how these myths continue to shape art, literature, and identity today. The myths of the Nephilim and Hercules have inspired art, literatures, and media for millennia. Renaissance painters like Michelangelo and Rubens depicted Hercules' labors as symbols of human potential, while medieval manuscripts portrayed Nephilim as towering figures in illuminated Bibles. Today, these stories thrive in comic books, films, and video games. Clash of the Titans, 1981, Percy Jackson and the Olympians, and God of War reimagine these myths for new generations. Why do these ancient narratives remain so adaptable? Perhaps because they tap into timeless themes of heroism, rebellion, and the search for identity. Literature, too, has been shaped by these archetypes. Dante's Inferno references the Nephilim as guardians of hell's circles, while Mary Shelley's Frankenstein echoes their tragic duality, a creation that defies natural order. In Neil Gaiman's American Gods, deities like Hercules are reimagined as fading beings in a modern world. These adaptations prove that myths are not static, they evolve, reflecting society's fears and aspirations. Even J.R.R. Tolkien drew from Norse and Greek myths to craft his legendarium, blending divine and mortal worlds. Pop culture often merges these traditions. A DC Comics Hercules is a superhero struggling with his divine heritage, while Marvel's X-Men features Angel, Warren Worthington III, whose wings and inner turmoil mirror the Nephilim's hybrid nature. Video games like Final Fantasy and Assassin's Creed Odyssey let players interact with mythic worlds, turning ancient stories into immersive experiences. This interactivity blurs the line between storyteller and audience, a modern echo of how myths were once passed down orally. Architecture and symbolism also reflect these myths. The Pillars of Hercules, the Strait of Gibraltar, were seen as the edge of the known world, while the U.S. Supreme Court building features a frieze of Moses and Hercules, symbols of law and strength. Even national identities are shaped by myth. Greece's tourism campaigns celebrate Hercules as a cultural icon, while Israel's archaeological sites highlight Nephilim legends to connect past and present. These narratives are not just stories, they are tools for understanding ourselves. As these myths permeate global culture, they invite us to ask, what do our modern retellings say about our values? Do we still see heroes as flawed and divine, or have we redefined them entirely? Share your favorite myth-inspired film, book, or artwork below. Next, we'll reflect on the deeper lessons these stories hold for humanity. The stories of the Nephilim and Hercules are more than ancient myths. They are mirrors reflecting humanity's deepest struggles. Both narratives grapple with the tension between power and morality. The Nephilim's corruption by unchecked ambition warns of the dangers of hubris, while Hercules' journey from madness to divinity illustrates redemption through perseverance. These tales ask us, how do we balance strength with compassion? When does greatness become a burden? Their lessons resonate today, urging us to confront our own shadows and seek growth through adversity. Hercules' labors teach resilience in the face of futility. Cleaning the Augean stables, a task deemed impossible, symbolizes the human capacity to transform chaos into order. Similarly, the Nephilim's legacy reminds us that power without purpose leads to ruin. In a modern context, these stories parallel challenges like climate change or social inequality, monumental problems requiring collective effort and moral clarity. Myths, then, are not relics, but blueprints for navigating crises. The duality of these figures, divine yet flawed, reflects the human condition. Hercules' rage and sorrow, the Nephilim's fall from grace, mirror our own battles with inner demons. Psychologist Jordan Peterson argues that myths are maps of meaning, helping us navigate existential chaos. Whether facing personal loss or societal upheaval, these stories remind us that suffering can forge wisdom. As the poet Rumi wrote, "The wound is the place where the light enters you." These narratives also challenge us to redefine heroism. Modern heroes, activists, scientists, caregivers rarely wield clubs or defy gods, yet their struggles echo Hercules' endurance. The Nephilim's cautionary tale urges us to question systems of power, while Hercules' redemption inspires us to seek forgiveness and purpose. True heroism, these myths suggest, lies not in invincibility, but in vulnerability, the courage to rise after falling. As we conclude, consider this. What would Hercules do in our world? How would the Nephilim story unfold today? These questions are not abstract. They invite us to act with intention. Share your reflections below. In the final chapter, we'll tie these threads together, exploring how ancient myths can illuminate our path forward. From the shadows of Genesis to the peaks of Olympus, the stories of the Nephilim and Hercules reveal a timeless truth. Humanity has always sought to understand its place between the mortal and the divine. These myths, though separated by cultures and millennia, share a common heartbeat, a quest to define heroism, power, and redemption. They remind us that our struggles, whether against external foes or inner demons, are part of a larger tapestry of meaning. The parallels between Nephilim and Hercules challenge us to see history as a web of interconnected ideas. Ancient civilizations, though separated by geography, grappled with the same questions. Why do we suffer? What makes a hero? Can we transcend our flaws? These stories, in their diversity, converge on a universal answer. Growth arises from struggle, and wisdom is born from chaos. As we close this journey, let us reflect on the modern relevance of these myths. In a world of rapid change and uncertainty, the lessons of Hercules' resilience and the Nephilim's cautionary tale are more vital than ever. They urge us to channel our strength ethically, to learn from failure, and to seek unity in diversity. After all, every era reinvents these stories because they hold keys to the human soul. If this exploration has sparked your curiosity, join our community of myth seekers. Share this video with fellow thinkers and let us know in the comments. What ancient story resonates most with your life today? Your voice adds to this ever-evolving dialogue between past and present. Don't forget to subscribe for more journeys into history's mysteries. Click the bell icon to stay updated and hit like to support our quest for knowledge. Together, we'll keep uncovering the hidden threads that connect us all. Thank you for watching, and remember, the past is not dead. It lives on in the stories we choose to tell.